Hey church, today we're continuing in Genesis chapter 27, looking a little bit more into the life and story of Jacob and Esau. Now we looked in chapter 25 and saw that Jacob was able to basically buy Esau's birthright by making him food. And in 27 today, we're going to see again, food plays a big role of what Isaac wanted on his deathbed. Now, when you think about something that you've been hungry for, I doubt highly that any of us would say we were so hungry ever that we would sell our birthright for something. But maybe on your deathbed, you're nearing the end of life and you just want to taste something one more time that you hadn't had in a while. What would that be? Well, it made me start thinking about my favorite place to go. And it's kind of off in the distance there. You can't really see it, so I'll let you see it close up here. This is my favorite place to go in Huntsville. It is called, if you can see that there, Parlor Donuts. That's what a parlor donut looks like right there. People, it's unbelievable. My favorite thing. And they're not paying me to say that. I just love it. And so I had to drive over and get myself one and talk to you guys a little bit more about this story. So in chapter 27, we're going to see a lot of deception. First of all, Isaac knew that God wanted Jacob to be the one that was blessed. And what was this blessing? It basically meant all of the inheritance that was usually due or given to the firstborn, but in this instance it was supposed to be Jacob. So everything that the father had would be blessed and given to this one. And so Isaac invites Esau into his room secretively. All right, it wasn't like he invited them both in, so this is what's going to happen. He knew what God wanted, but he invites Esau in secretly and says, I'm going to bless you, but first go out, hunt, and bring me back some stew. So here we go, food again, right? Well, Rebecca is overhearing this conversation. She tells Jacob, listen, go get me a couple of these goats. I will make this stew for you. You can get back in before Esau does, and we can trick your dad into giving you the blessing, the inheritance. Jacob's got all kind of questions. Well, hey, my brother Esau, he's a hairy dude. He's got a lot more hair than I have. Dad's going to know that. Like if he touches me, he's going to know it's not me. And so she even has a way around that, right? We'll put animal fur on you, and we will trick him in any way possible for you to get that birthright. And so that's what happens. Jacob takes this stew that, first of all, he didn't even make. His mom makes it and puts this fur on his arms and goes in. And Isaac, not able to see very well, questions, well, hey, it doesn't really sound like Esau. And hey, Esau, how did you get back so quickly? But he feels his arms like, yep, there's the hair. It's got to be my son Esau. And so he blesses Jacob, all centered around this deception. This is what's interesting to me about this story. Jacob and Isaac both are being deceptive in their own ways. And yet when we see the genealogy that leads us to this perfect Savior, Jesus, they're both there. Does it encourage you like it does me today to know that God can still use me? I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We have our ups and downs. We have our mistakes. Maybe even times you've lied, or I've lied before, or tried to deceive even. But yet God can still use you, just as he used these two men in this story that eventually led to his son coming to save us. What an incredibly interesting story. All a little bit centered around this food, this dish that Isaac wanted, and it made me hungry. Maybe it made you hungry today. Go get yourself a parlor donut and think about the fact that God can still use you today, no matter what's going on in your life.